Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to check in real quick and let you know how it's going in my meal and fitness planner. I had made a change to my layout and it's been a couple weeks, and I just wanted to kind of let you know how that's going. So, this is what I do when I get ready to go shopping. I have these this is a post-it note that's normally like this size and a little bit longer. And I just cut it up like this so it fits in here and I can take this to the store. So that's set up for next week. But let's go back. Okay, so for several weeks, 3 weeks of 2025, and then a couple weeks of 2024, I had this layout, which gave me a bit more space. I could write a little bit bigger, and it mainly took up almost the entire page for macros, and there wasn't really room to track much of anything else. I did track water intake and weight and photo, but that was about all I had room for because it was so big, and I wanted a change. So I shifted it up, and I made everything fit on this side of the page that had to do with macros, and so everything was much smaller, and it's been working out okay. I mean, I like to write small, and I use a very ultra fine tip pen that's like 0.85 or 0.38. Wow. And so it works pretty well. And in fact, you can see a lot of this is actually done in pencil. Right now I've been using the Pilot Dr. Grip. Let's see if we can get that in. There we go, 4-in-1. And so it's got 4 colors plus a pencil. So I do it in pencil because I try and plan this out like as I'm going to the store so that I can get what I need. And if that changes during the week, it's easy to just erase and write it in. If I write it in pen, it's because I actually did it. So anyway, what's nice about this is now I'm seeing this is a graph of what my macros are actually doing. And this was my first week doing it. I goofed up, put some stuff on the wrong day, so this isn't a super clear graph. But as you can see, oh, I forgot to do Sunday. I guess I didn't keep track because I was driving the whole day and eating out places, and it was hard to know exactly what I was eating. I'm sure it was off the scale. As you can see, like I put in some lines here for like where my ideal macro would end up. My first 3 days of the week tend to be pretty close to where I need to be. And then it just kind of goes downhill, especially if I'm traveling, which I have to do once a month to go pick up my daughter from boarding school for her home leave. This week was a little better. I had one crazy day, but the rest of it was like kind of right where it needed to be. So let's see. Last week. Again, pretty decent. And then, whoa, what happens? Weekends are hard, guys. Well, and okay, Valentine's Day. So obviously wanted to have a little fun with Valentine's Day. And then the next day, Saturday, my daughters were both at a choral festival a couple hours away. So we went down to hear their concert and took them out to dinner. And so, again, eating on the road, restaurants, is really disastrous if you're trying to keep track of stuff. But what I love is I'm seeing clear things. Now, this week was crazy because this pink line right here, that's where this black line should line up. So look, it took this huge dive where I didn't eat much that day. And then way up. So of course, I'm not going to be able to be consistent with any kind of weight loss if I'm going crazy with what I'm eating. So here's this week. I've got 2 days in. Look at me. I'm right where I need to be. I'm actually kind of low calorie wise. Not horribly low, but a little bit on the low side. But look at that. My macros are lining up better. Of course, these first 3 days tend to be good. And since today is a snow day, normally my Wednesday could be a little challenging because I do a hot lunch at my kids' school, and I make good food. So it's not always healthy food for those kids. And so unless I had the self-control to bring something else for myself to eat, which of course I wouldn't do because I want to eat what I just made, Wednesday can be crazy, and Thursday can sometimes be a little bit off just because I go out to eat with a friend. And again, you're going out to eat. And so sometimes, depending on the restaurant that gets chosen, you don't always have the best options for food. So I expect Monday and Tuesday to be solidly good days. We're celebrating my husband's birthday on Saturday, but we're doing it at the house, so I'll have a little bit more control of the food. So I'm hoping I'll do better. You can see, like, I've planned out. So these are the first 2 days planned out with my macros. This is today, Wednesday, and these are the things I'm planning to eat. And I did work out what those would be. So if I stick with this, which I expect to since we're not going anywhere, today should come in solidly. Yeah, tomorrow, not sure how that's going to go. I usually check in with my friend in the morning to figure out where we're going to eat, because then I can kind of guess what would I order at that restaurant and then build the rest of the meals around that. So hopefully we can be in good shape. Sometimes I'll skip breakfast that day too, just because I'm like, we're going to go crazy at lunch. I need to just not overdo it. And then I've got Friday planned out, and the weekend kind of have some ideas, although my husband picked different food there, so we will see. But I do at least like this. This is a very good graphic and visual for me to see if anything is going wrong where, because I need these numbers solidly here, but looking at this mess of numbers, it's not clear to me where I'm at until I can see it on a graph. So what I'm doing here is I've got my highlighters, the color of the pen that I'm using for each one of these sections, and then I can really track what actually happened with my food, so I can make some adjustments. And the biggest adjustment that I need to make, and I know this and I need to figure it out, is I need to figure out food on the go on those when it's my daughter's home leave week and I spend Wednesday on the road picking her up and then Sunday on the road taking her back. That's at least 2 meals out each of those days. And that's a disaster. Or it can even be 3. It just depends on how it lines up. And so I need to figure out food that I can pack and eat in the car that's going to be somewhat healthy and also tasty, so I'm not tempted to buy something. And also, like in the evenings, when I'm coming back on those Sundays, I'm coming back late because she has to be at her dorm by 5, and it's a 4.5-hour drive. So that means I'm leaving about noon, getting there, coming back and getting home at 10 at the earliest. Sometimes it's 11, depending on if we do any shopping or goofing around on our way up and back. And so then it's like, oh, do I want to get caffeine to stay awake so I'm not bored and sleepy? And I really overdid it last time with caffeine. I'm very sensitive to caffeine. Had 2 caffeinated drinks. I don't know why I never do that, but for some reason I just impulsively bought them and drank them because they were there. And I was not feeling okay. So I really need to work on that. And so being able to see all of this clearly, it's that reality check that my brain needs to say, let's make a change. You don't want the rest of your life to constantly be like this, because it doesn't matter how hard I work on these days. If I screw it up here, if I screwed it up every day, I'd be gaining weight. So at least I'm maintaining, but I want to lose some. Not happy with where I'm at. Not in a bad place, but not in a good place. It doesn't always feel good. So I need the wake up call, and this is really helpful. Just in case anyone is wondering, I will show you last week so you can see what some of these other things are. So this is where I track my sleep. I'm going to turn it this way because it's more oriented for this direction. So this is the number of hours, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then my watch gives me a sleep score. So I'm doing that, and then I'm giving myself an average. This is how many glasses of water a day I'm drinking. Of course, my goal is 8. This is marking off if I did any stretching. I didn't mark this in for last week because I did do some exercise I didn't put in. Here's weights. There, of course, is my graph for how I did with my macros and my calories. This is for graphing the weight. I've kind of been not climbing high, but like I was down in the 163s. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Oh, yeah, I know what happened. And now I'm up like 165, 166. So I'm like, okay, it helps to see it like this for me. Here's steps. I'm tracking those. I've had a hard time getting out and walking. If the weather's bad, if I have a busy week where I'm teaching a lot, if I'm home with my kid because it's a snow day, it's hard to get out and walk because I do that away from home. So yeah. And then this one this is an energy score again that my phone gives me, or Yeah, my watch, my smartwatch. I have a Samsung smartwatch. And then here's a place for a picture. I don't always remember to take it. And when I do, sometimes it takes a week or two to get it printed and stuck in here. But anyway, don't need to share the picture necessarily with you all. Hope this is helpful. If you're looking to track your macros, meals, activity, weight, any of those things, I personally find this graphing system to work quite well, and I hope it can work for you.